Charlotte Flair destroys Alexa Bliss in her playground.
Oh, let's not talk about originality, please.
Ruby Soho and Britt Baker throw low blows on an explosive face-off.
Banging some dude in the back.
Wow.
You got fired.
Shayna Baszler annihilates Nia Jax, leaving her screaming. Mandy Rose's makeover is a success. We've got the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. And I want to get married after that index wedding. So good. Welcome everyone to Ring the Bell. This is DS and this is Women's Wrestling Weekly Recap, where we recap mostly everything that happened this week. Yes, this show does not have Paloma because this is a quick weekly recap that we decided to add on top of the pay-per-view reviews that we've been doing with Paloma. So I know you guys love Paloma, I love Paloma, but for this quick recap, you're stuck with me, okay? But let's go to this explosive episode of Raw. This is a go-home show for Extreme Rules, and we were blessed with so many goodies today. But let's start with a baddie. Eva Marie versus Doudrop yet again, and what happened? The same shit happened again. Girl, At this point, I have no idea where it's going. It got to a point where it's so repetitive, so I lost my interest. The only silver lining is that WWE released Doudrop's theme song, and it's really freaking good. But also, Eva's annoying promo before the match, like, kind of helped Doudrop get over a little bit more as a face. At the same time, we all know Eva will be destroyed in like 3 seconds. Overall, not very effective. So thank you for consistently booking them, but show us something new. The next match we saw was Nia Jax versus Shayna Baszler, and whoa, I did not expect this to go this way. We were treated with this amazing video promo of their feud, kind of recapping everything that happened in their partnership. And this match, yes, it was a pretty short match, but I was so invested in this match. We started out with Nia Jax being all arrogant and throwing Shayna Baszler everywhere, and I thought Shayna was going for a face, because we've been kind of seeing the Shayna face tease, but no, that's not what happened. And what we saw is Nia Jax getting demolished like I've never seen before. And because Shayna Baszler was actually a shoot fighter, like her just destroying Nia Jax looked very reasonable, like it looked believable, and Nia lost her consciousness with the clutch, losing this match. But that did not end there. So right after the match, we saw Shayna being very conflicted, and I'm like, wait, why am I so emotional about this match? Like this performance that Shayna is giving us was so emotionally charged, and I was thinking about all these beautiful days of Team Shania, and I'm like, it was just destroyed. I was so sad. But it did not end there. After this Oscar-worthy acting moment, Shayna decided to destroy Nia Jax with the stomp, and Nia Jax just screaming like, Shayna, please don't. To that just scream that I still cannot forget about. This really brings back all the edge that Shayna might have lost through the tag team booking to that magical bullshit that she had with Alexa Bliss. But on top of that, she has a lot of layers into this. I low-key was thinking that she might be one of the best actresses that we have in WWE. She was excellent. She wasn't just psychotic sadist, that character that we see all the time in WWE. She had a lot of depth. She was conflicted about what she was doing to Nia Jax. And this is what Shayna Baszler needed. And if anything, I think Shayna's coming out of this storyline even stronger than before. Before, she was just like destroyer of the world. Everyone hated her because they thought she was boring. But now with this, we're seeing a glimpse of a more deeper character. Super satisfaction for me. I'm so impressed with this performance. Also, props to Nia Jax. Like, her selling here was absolutely amazing. She probably heard all of us saying that she didn't sell, so she sold the heck out of Shayna. I could feel all the pain that she was feeling. That was good. That was good. Next thing we saw Rhea Ripley and Nikki ASH cut a promo talking about Connor's cure, and it was very heartwarming to see Ripley be so emotionally invested in this. Again, another glimpse into Superstar's depth and the humanity, the different layers of the character. I think that's what creates strong bonds between a wrestler and the viewer. But the moment they cut this promo about how they want to dedicate this match and victory to all the children, we know they're gonna win this freaking match, right? Natty's not gonna come out here and like kids. You know what I mean? It was quite a short match when Natalya and Tamina lost their titles. Natalya was trying sharpshooter on Nikki Ash, but outside, Rhea Ripley puts Riptide on Tamina, and that distracted Natalya, and Nikki Ash put the most devastating finisher ever, the small package, to win the title. Yeah, very happy for Rhea and Nikki, but little sad for Tamina and Natalya because even though their title win generated such great moments, especially for Tamina, given that this was her first title win, but the reign generally was just kind of really underwhelming, especially it was never clear if they're face or heel, and even though they teased into their character of like being the dynasty, being the legendary veterans, that they never got to really use that character into a storyline, and even that Shotzi Tegan situation is still a mystery to me too. But if this is gonna guarantee women's tag team championship being used more on TV, that would be a good thing, right? The other thing I'm a little worried about is that Rhea and Nikki are the two people that were victim of winning the title too early. So them winning this title so early on in their team being together. So I'm curious to see how this win affect how fans view them as a champion. I might not care, to be honest, because it's like tag championship. So right now I am happy for them, but I'm still not sure what it means for the tag team division in general. So I'll just say meh. All right, but let's go to the last segment. This freaking explosive playground segment between Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. And since this feud began between Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, I was waiting for this promo battle. And you know, if you remember last time they clashed in Survivor Series, both as champion, Charlotte Flair like basically destroyed Alexa Bliss in a promo battle. Then for Alexa, who's known to be like the goddess of promo, that is kind of like insulting, I think. So I was kind of expecting her to come back strong for the second war. And I'll have to say, Charlotte destroyed Alexa. Please let me know if you think I'm being unreasonable about it, okay? I think Charlotte Flair, she really went there almost in a dangerous territory to a point where I'm like, is this okay for her to destroy Alexa's gimmick like this? She's talking about how this adult woman is dressing up like a kid playing with the doll because she's broken. And if we know anything about Alexa Bliss, she kind of pulled back a lot of her active wrestler role because she had a lot of concussions and injuries. So this shade was very much based on reality, so it hit really, really hard. We all are missing her days as 5 Feet of Fury, the goddess days when she was actively participating in matches. And you can say that that's a fair criticism of Alexa Bliss lately because she has been focusing on less of a straightforward wrestling roles, if you say. And on top of that, when Charlotte Flair said originality of Alexa Bliss, we all know we're talking about The Fiend. And the whole controversy that Mickie James tweeted about how WWE taking Bray Wyatt's character and giving it to someone else that's more marketable. It got real, and I think it was really, really brutal. But on the other hand, and please let me know, I know that a lot of Alexa Bliss fans think that I am unfair to Alexa. So let me know. I'm actually really excited to see your opinion. So Alexa Bliss, her main point towards Charlotte Flair is that she is nothing without belt. Her gimmick, her character is meaningless without the belts. I personally don't think that's true at all. Criticism about Charlotte Flair is that on top of all the championships, she also won everything else. She has a freaking wrestling royalty Flair name, even though it's not the most popular name right now. She won the Royal Rumble. She defeated Trish Stratus. She main evented WrestleMania. She's on the Funky Brewster show. She has one of the best track records for having great matches. Like, she has everything going for her to a point it doesn't even make sense. There's no equity. There's no equity in women's division. So when Alexa's saying that Charlotte is nothing without belt, she really is not nothing without belt. And if anything, I've been wanting Charlotte Flair without belt for a while, and I think she'll be completely fine without the belt. So yeah, I think Charlotte dragged Alexa yet again. This feud is surprising me every week. At first, I thought this will go cinematic match route, something spooky. Last week it was very cutesy, like classic diva feud with like dolls and stuff. But this week it went to a full-on shoot style. And Alexa's best matches were with Charlotte Flair and Sasha Banks. So I'm excited to see where this is going to go and if we're going to see Goddess Day Alexa Bliss again. Stratisfaction. All right. Let's start from the rebranded NXT 2.0. And what did you guys think of this arena? I actually really liked it. It looked very young and dynamic. But let's not get twisted. This is not 2.0. We're not about to forget WWE's first ever all-women's show, the NXT with Caitlyn, AJ, Naomi. First match we got was B-Fab versus Katrina Cortez. So B-Fab obviously in this match was very green, but but we got that whole diva vibe from her. She was so charismatic. She was so divalicious, and she can definitely be the it girl of WWE. I can already feel it. And of course, like a diva she is, she used a classic diva finisher layout. It was kind of weak, but the pose after, like I was actually really feeling it. So Stratified. After this match, Elektra Lopez came out with her crew, and they started spitting fire. I mean, both of them are so charismatic, but also so natural on the mic. The back and forth they were having seems like so refreshing for some reason. It's like not something I've seen from WWE TV before. So like I really was feeling it. Hope to see them in the ring soon. So Stratified. Now we got a tag match after this. It was Casey and Kaden, the TikTok team. Yeah, they were actually really officially calling them the TikTok team. Versus Gigi Dolin and JC Jane. And this match was like 2 minutes. It ended under 2 minutes with DQ when Mandy Rose interrupted and she had a whole reveal. And now she's no longer a blonde bombshell, but she is a Burnett Mafia. No, I freaking loved it. We know that Mandy has been trying a couple looks last year. I wouldn't say it was very successful back then, but this time, oh, I am so feeling it. She looks fierce, and as Toxic Attraction, yeah, that's their team name, and as Toxic Attraction was attacking the TikTokers, Saray comes out, and we jumped onto 6-women tag match. This match is really fun. Obviously, the TikTokers, Casey and Kaden, they're so exciting in the ring. Saray added to that, really worked well with the Toxic Attraction, and Mandy, even though she didn't like necessarily add a lot of new moves, I think she definitely has a new attitude and new passion, and she looked really deadly in the ring. This match got "This is awesome" chant, and at the end, Mandy picks up a win with a big knee. Super excited to learn more about Toxic Attraction. Super satisfied. And lastly, this wedding. The Index wedding was here. This wedding was one of the greatest thing I've ever seen in wrestling. And I'm not even kidding. As I told you from the beginning, I was not a big fan of Index because I was always more of a fan of Austin Theory and Dexter Lumix couple. But they definitely won me over from the proposal segment. I mean, this was really fun. I really loved the way as a stable, they're such a great family. And watching them is like watching sitcom. Like, you know the characters from cute Austin Theory to Proud Parents, Johnny and Candy. You know the dynamic between characters. It was just so fun to watch it. And in this segment, we got to see so many different characters in NXT brand get to contribute to make this segment such a fun segment. I was really living for it. I loved how Dexter's middle name was Gaylord because we've been new. And Beth Phoenix, who got ordained as a minister to get this wedding going, just in case things go south. And Dexter's voice reveal when he finally said yes.
Do.
Like everything was just so perfect. Again, this was such a great TV, and I'm so glad that this wedding was not ruined. And this is like one of the first weddings in forever that went well. I am so happy, and I want to get married right now. I freaking loved it. Super satisfaction for me. Moving on to AEW Dynamite, we got a match between Jade Cargill and Layla Hirsch. And if you haven't watched that match from NWA Empower, it was an eye-opener. It's definitely match of the year candidate. Oh, Layla Hirsch, AEW is not utilizing her very well. But anyway, as always, Jade was such a star, and Layla really put her into test. This was really fun dynamic between the two. Jade Cargill being more of a tall, fit, statuesque woman versus Layla, who's very short. She really brought the fight. It was David versus Goliath match. But at the end, Jade Cargill picks up the win with Glam Slam. So everyone loves Jade, and Jade is still green, but I think everyone is starting to notice the pattern with Jade's matches. This was definitely a better match she had. I love this match, and also the match that Jade had with Red Velvet before. But now that she's having such a long winning streak, and now she's finally on the scoreboard, I think it's time for us to see a little more from Jade Cargill. So please, AEW, give women a secondary storyline so someone like Jade can work up the rank until she finally faces the women's champion. But either way, super satisfied about this match. Alright, let's go to Impact Zone. It was last Impact before the Victory Road on Saturday. It was more of a brief time for knockouts. We got 3 segments. So Tennille was having an all about me talk show with influence. And then Taylor Wilde, Jordan Grace, Rachel Erling interrupted them and took over the show. I actually really loved this talk show segment. Perfectly awkward, super campy. It was just fun segment. And I think Tenille and Taylor Wilde's personality just fits in this situation perfectly. It was so fun. And Taylor challenged Tenille for the Victory Road match. So we're going to talk a little bit about that later. We also saw a heated brawl between Deonna Purrazzo and Mickie James. This feud is really boiling up, leading up to Bound for Glory at Las Vegas. It's getting very physical, stratified. So even in the interview that I had with Deonna Purrazzo, she talked a little bit about how she never had like a blood feud, really like heated storyline. I think this could definitely be one of them. So, you know, usually the Virtuosa character is very above it all. She's cool, like I am the Virtuosa. But I think we got to a point where we can see a little bit more from Virtuosa, maybe a different side of Virtuosa. I would be very interested to see where this takes both Deonna and Mickie. And lastly, Tasha Steelz and Savannah were talking about stealing the championship, and they're like, this was actually ours. Let me know what you think about this Tasha's new catchphrase, because now that she can't use period, she's got this new one.
And that's on what? Oh.
Yeah, that was a choice, right? But yeah, they're gonna have a title match at Victory Road. All right, let's get back to AEW for Rampage time. We got a face-off between DMD and Ruby Soho. This face-off was probably everything we've been waiting for. Both of them were so hot on the mic. We know that Ruby can talk, but she really went at it. There were some low blows, definitely from both of them. I think it was kind of uncalled for Ruby to say that Britt is banging someone backstage.
And banging some dude in the back.
Wow. Hold on.
If anything, Adam Cole's the one banging someone backstage to come to AEW. So yeah, it didn't make any sense, Ruby. And I love when Britt Baker is like, you didn't run away from anything. You got fired.
You didn't run away from anything, Ruby. You got fired.
Shade. Regardless of some of the technicalities of the shade, this was a tea party. It was a splash zone. I freaking lived. And their match is happening next week, so this is going to be a very hot match. I'm really glad that Ruby got to have this face off, because last week she had 2 matches and they were fine. It didn't make me more or less excited about Ruby's title match, but I think this one definitely got people talking, and it'll be a huge match. I'm really excited about this. Super satisfied. We also saw a singles match between Anna Jay and the Bunny. I really love the Team Tay J chemistry, and the partnership between Bunny and Penelope is really cute too. The bigger stable situation of like the Dark Order and the Matt Hardy was out. I don't really understand what's going on there. I also don't think it's affecting anything storyline wise for this match. This match was a good back and forth match. Nothing really stands out. I'll say satisfied. It's always good to see multiple women's segments in AEW, and this is definitely some kind of story progression. But yeah, in this match, Anna Jay picked up the win with a roll-up, and after the match, Penelope, for the breast ring, attacked both TJ. Let's go to SmackDown. So we got a tag match between the team of Zelina Vega and Carmella versus Toni Storm and Liv Morgan, and I did not expect that this would result in an Extreme Rules match. It's almost like WWE's really apologizing about screwing them over last Friday. They gave like shit ton of time to Women in Raw, and we also got this match on Extreme Rules that nobody expected, Carmella versus Liv Morgan. But yeah, this match itself was fun. Carmella's most beautiful woman in the world, that character finally paid off when she like broke her nose and she like walked away from the match being counted out. And then Liv's like, well, I'm gonna you up even more at Extreme Rules. I'm super excited about this match. I'm low-key wanting this match to be Diva's Extreme Makeover match. Please make that happen. Very satisfied. We also got a really short segment with Naomi. Naomi approached Sonya Deville and she's like, "Ew, the fucking phone, bitch." By the way, if you haven't checked our WWE bitch compilation, you gotta check it out right now. It was a really fun video. You guys asked for it, so it's finally here. But basically, Naomi's like, I'm way more established than you. I'm a former women's champion, so who the hell do you think you are not giving me opportunity? I'm not a quitter. I'll get that match out of you. I mean, it was very meta. We know that Naomi's actually one of the most athletic superstars on WWE, but she's just, for God knows why, is not getting opportunities like everyone else. She's only the 2-time women's champion. I feel like she should have been like 5 or 6 times by now. She definitely should have been a Divas champion. She definitely should have defeated Nikki Bella. Everything she's saying in this segment is like based on reality. It was like cathartic to see Naomi kind of represent us fans and say it to Sonya Deville, who is representing what WWE is actually doing to Naomi, not giving her enough opportunity. I really hope this turns into something amazing because I'm living for this. Super satisfying. And lastly, for the main event, we saw Bianca Belair's homecoming celebration. This homecoming segment almost didn't feel like a regular WWE segment, but this felt like a local event for Bianca. Like the Knox County Mayor Kane was there. He brought like this big key. She was in front of all the fans and friends and family. Like it was just like a great party for Bianca coming back home, and she was such a mega star coming here. You know how like a lot of celebration segments in WWE like comes out pretty fake and like dumb, but this felt like an actual celebration for Bianca. She definitely has this power of making everything seem so genuine, and that's very special power of Bianca Belair. But yeah, Becky Lynch crashed the party. She's just here to check it out and like congratulate her, and she tries to shake Bianca's hand, and Bianca this time is not dumb, so she's not going to be attacked like SummerSlam, although she did. She got manhandle slammed, just like SummerSlam. And technically, it's Bianca that first like attacked, so I don't know. It's kind of like whatever. But you know what happens with WWE? WWE always makes the hometown heroes get embarrassed, just like WWE rule. So obviously that happened here. As a closing up SmackDown, I think it was kind of weak. At least break a table or that freaking key, Becky. But either way, I think this was a very special segment because of Bianca being Bianca. She definitely has that magic with her. So I'll say Stratisfaction for this segment. And lastly, on Saturday, we had Impact's Victory Road pay-per-view, and we saw 2 women's matches. The first match was Tenille Dashwood versus Taylor Wilde, and they're all accompanied by their teammates, The Influence and Rachel and Jordan. This match is supposed to be like the culmination of their feud with The Influence versus Taylor Wilde, and they've been feuding for a little bit, and especially with like Madison Rayne joining in, coming out of the retirement, and Jordan and Rachel coming to Taylor's aid last moment. I think there's a lot to play with, and this could have been a very explosive match, but it wasn't. It was surprisingly wasn't. The 4 people that was in the ringside didn't do much. They were kicked out before doing anything that's noteworthy, and this match was a solid match coming from 2 solid competitors, but for the culmination of the storyline, I feel like some of the stuff that we've seen during the build-up was a lot more entertaining than what we saw here. I'll say, girl. The second match we saw was a Knockouts Tag Team Championship, and it was Tasha Steelz and Savannah Evans versus Decay, Rosemary, and Jessica Havoc. This was a classic tag match, and it was so exciting, especially at the end with the green mist, the tombstone. It was super exciting tag match. I did hope that Savannah was more of a force in this match. It is kind of like their first match as a team, and Savannah's kind of like first introduction. For how menacing she is, this loss will kind of affect her negatively. So excited to see where Tasha and Savannah will go. And also for Decay, I think there's a lot of great options for the next feud. So I think things are just heating up. Stratisfaction. And if you watch Impact's Victory Road, you will see me in the front row because I was there. They filmed some of the Victory Road stuff over last weekend when I was in Nashville for Knockouts Knockdown pay-per-view. So you will see me drooling over Ace Austin. Thank you so much for watching this week's recap. And also, if you want to talk wrestling all the time with me and Paloma, Joey, Moxie, we've got Patreon exclusive Discord. Just join any tier of our Patreon and you will be able to join our Discord board where we talk wrestling and spill some really good wrestling tea and sometimes share some salacious photos. Not OnlyFans, but. So please check our Patreon, and you can find me on Instagram at DSShin and Ring the Bell DS on Twitter, and I'll see you next week. Bye!